Hey people, it's Nias talking. Now this is sort of a semi-stream of consciousness video because it's in response to something I saw, and I saw a commenter somewhere, I think it was probably a white guy, who said, well, white people like to go about slavery, but they don't like to think that everybody goes through slavery. I mean, what about the North African piracy? They kidnapped thousands of people, like what, 35,000 from Britain, and I thought, what? This is just nonsensical. Now, that's not to say that it was good, but they want to make false equivalencies, which is what this video is about, like making false equivalencies, because that's what I want to deal with. So, okay, let's deal with it. They kidnapped them. So, when they freed them, did they force them to pay their captors for their freedom, like they did in Haiti, in Jamaica, and the Caribbean? No, that didn't happen. After they freed them, did they put in laws to stop them advancing? Did they say, oh, well, you can't go to school, you can't marry this person, you can't hold property, you can't hold political office? Did they go around, when they built a town, did they just, if they did well, did they destroy the town or everything they built to set them back and keep them economically backward? Did that happen? Did they experiment on those people to just find out what these people are? Did they create scientific theories to justify their slavery, saying that those people weren't human beings? Did they loot those white people's countries of everything that was good and put it in their museum, and then simultaneously tell them, you have never had a civilization, you did nothing? No. Did those African pirates then go back to those countries and then keep plundering them routinely? Do they go around keeping them in an economic prison like France does with its West African colonies, where they loot $500 billion? And then say to them, why are you so poor, as if to mock them? Or do they overthrow their leaders whenever they don't do what they want? And other things, they want to also say stuff like, oh, well, Irish people went through slavery, say oppression. Again, like, if you want to talk about what happened to the Irish in America, first off, that is completely on white people. The British economically destroyed Ireland, created the famine that sent them to America. And it was white people who oppressed them, who did all those horrible things to them. Black people did not do any of those things, like treating them badly or economically discriminating against them. They didn't even have the means to do so. And one of the things they often talk about is the violence black people commit to white people. The thing is, they'll talk about it, but the truth is, there's no real historical or examples that you can think of. It's so rare, it's not even a thing in your consciousness. When we think of white people lynching black people, we know so many examples. It's a thing, it's a term. How many white people do you know that have just been killed by black people for just no reason? They just saw him go into their community and they just said, hey man, we don't like him, kill him. Where does that ever happen? Or how often does that ever happen? And the thing is, when white people go to black countries, they will be treated better than the people there. So, this whole thing, oh, they're resentful. I don't know who they're talking about. Where does this happen? And you know something? I'll tell you something. If this slave trade of white people was so bad, how come they don't teach it in their schools every day, the way they do the Holocaust? Because they say the Holocaust was so bad and they teach that. If this slave trade of white people by black people was so bad, why don't they teach it? I mean, think about it. O.J. Simpson and Michael Jackson were both found innocent by their courts, and they still go on about it. So we know if this was as bad as they said it was, they would never let it go, which is the first step to telling you it's a huge lie. Anyway, I just wanted to have some clap back to all these racist nonsense. Please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.